Hello, you bearded bastards, and welcome back once again to Stetargusgash, Honeystoker, where we can see our trio of Nazusheb, who are currently on the hunt for a forgotten beast, an ancient terror known as Letha Piniosata, described as being an enormous thrush with curving horns and deadly spittle. Now, a couple things before we get into this. I will note that the vampires are armed with weapons and some very modest armor. Like Serral here has a steel short sword, as well as some copper chain leggings, but that's about it. And Iron Tongue is similarly equipped with a silver mace and some copper chain leggings as well. And the same goes for Atir, who also has a mace, leggings, but also a copper breastplate. So that's a little bit better. I do have better armor for the fortress dwarves, but I guess these guys didn't grab any before they got locked in the tower. That does make me a little nervous, but I am still pretty confident. All three of these guys are decent warriors, and we can't forget that they are vampires as well, so their stats are increased quite a bit. Also, if we have a look here, you can see that we do not know where the Forgotten Beast is currently. It popped up initially, but then it disappeared out in the shadows of the caverns, so we're going to have to do some searching, Nazusheb. That beast is waiting out there somewhere, and we have to put an end to it. Now, I will also mention that the beast appeared here down in the third cavern level, quite a ways down. But this level is connected to the second cavern level with the Nazusheb through this series of caverns and tunnels that the Nazusheb are waiting by. Now, initially I was going to send them down there and do some hunting, but they wouldn't have anywhere to go. This is the bottom of that ramp that leads down to this level. So if they came down here, they couldn't go anywhere. Well, if only they could get to this ledge over here, then they'd have some space to move around. I don't know, maybe I can carve away this tiny little bit over here just so we can stand over here and wait for the creature. If it tries to go up to the second cavern level, then it will have to pass by this area, and that's when we can catch it. Now let's see if this works, and hopefully the beast doesn't pop up while someone's trying to carve away this ledge. That would lead to some real trouble. And for now, I'm just going to station Atir and Iron Tongue by this downwards tunnel, and I'm going to take Serral off duty, so he can go grab a pick and start working on that ledge. Alright, and here he goes, hopefully to grab a pick, but I guess we'll see. Oh, but I'm not sure if we have time for that. Letha Piniosata is flying around down here now. Its screech is echoing through the tunnels, but it doesn't look like it's coming up quite yet. Stay wary, dwarves. Alright, well, back up here in the tower, and it doesn't look like Serral has any interest in getting a pick, for whatever the hell reason. And so for now, I just sent the other vampires home, and I guess we're just gonna see if anybody wants to grab a pick. Well, here we go. Looks like Serral finally grabbed one, and he has begun to dig. Very good. Just gonna have to keep our eyes open now for that beast, which has just popped up again. Alright, now I've got the game paused, and the creature is right over here. Man, does it move quickly. It is very close to where Serral is right now. It might be a good idea to move him out of there. Yeah, you know what, I think I am. Alright, there he goes, back up, thankfully. That's right, get out of here, dude. You can't fight that thing alone, I don't think. And it looks like Letha is gone once more. Yeah, that is one tricky beast right there. Keep those eyes open, dwarves. Alright, while that beast is away, we're back to work down here on this ledge. And this time it's Atir who's doing the digging. Almost there. Okay, there we go. And so now we're going to take the Nazusheb and send them down to this ledge, just so they have a nice wide area in which to fight that beast. I don't want anybody falling down into that water. Not that they'll drown, mind you, but it's still kind of a big fall. We'll send them back here, just like that. Come, vampires, we have a beast to destroy. Alright, here they are working their way down. Fantastic. All three dwarves are now waiting here on the ledge. Oh, and they are fighting already. Wow, that was quick. Wow, that thing really came out of nowhere. Ugh, not looking good. Yeah, the creature slammed down here amidst all three of these dwarves, sent Iron Tongue airborne where he still is. Serral went screaming off this way, in a bit of a panic. That's not good. But even worse is Atir right here, who has already taken some significant damage from the beast. Like, real significant too. In fact, she was gored in the hand by one of its horns, which ripped her right hand straight off. But luckily she was able to maintain her silver mace in her left hand, I guess, and hit the creature in its head, fracturing its skull. Alright, well, I've already told the Nazusheb to go in and attack, so they should do that in a second, and we're going to run this battle one step at a time because I think it's going to go pretty quick. Let's watch. Alright, the beast and Atir are fighting here on the cavern floor. The beast is down, and it looks like Iron Tongue just landed behind it, but not before being gored by Letha in his right upper leg. Oof, that hurts. But it did serve as a bit of a distraction, which Atir used to get some strikes in, including a hit to its left foot, which fractured the bone. Very good. Keep it up, dwarves. Let's take this creature down. The creature is laying on the floor right now, spitting every once in a while, I'm seeing a bunch of blood here. I'm hoping it's from the beast. Atyr and Irontongue are dancing around the creature, dodging its strikes. A body part just went flying up here to the north. Oh, and it is Atyr's right hand. I believe the beast just spit it out. Alright, they are still fighting. Atyr and Irontongue are standing side by side, beating on the creature who just became enraged. Oh, that is extremely dangerous right there. By the way, we can see Serral up here in the north, still panicked, running around in these tunnels. That is absolutely horrendous right there. It doesn't look like we're going to be able to count on the guy. The bastard. Back down here with the beast, it is still fighting ferociously. Still spitting. Atyr does not seem to be doing very well at this point, but she's hanging in there. Come on, dwarves, keep at it. And it does also seem like the creature is losing some of its steam. It's still striking a whole bunch, but not getting a whole lot of hits in, while the Nazusheb, on the other hand, are getting quite a number of hits in. Nothing too major, except for this strike here, which was made to its middle spine, and tore the middle spine's nervous tissue. Yeah, that's a good one right there. Let's keep at it, dwarves, we're almost there. I really don't think it's going to last much longer. And you know, it would certainly be easier if Serral was here. I am remarkably pissed at that dwarf right now. But there's not much we can do about it, I guess. Just keep fighting, you dwarves. This battle's almost over. You know, these dwarves are getting pretty beat up in the fighting. Oof, yeah. Looks like Irontongue just took a good hit to his leg, and his hip split into gore. Oof. Quite a strike. Come on, you guys, keep at it. Ooh, was this a dumb plan? This might have been really stupid. Oh, looks like Atyr just jumped off the cliff, dodging one of the spit globs. And she's gone. It's just Irontongue versus the monster now. Well, let's see how this goes. Hang in there, buddy. Not feeling very positive about it, really. Grappling, fighting. I believe a body part was just... looks like his left hand was just torn off. And the beast is moving in. The two are tussling together on the ground. Still fighting. And the beast was just killed. Oh, that is fantastic. Not by any single strike either. I think the beast just ended up bleeding to death, which would make sense. Ugh, okay. Well, first of all, just gonna check on Atyr down here, who is in the water, and is not going to drown, thankfully. It looks like she's fine. Well, for the most part anyways, I guess. Still not sure if she can survive the wounds she sustained in that fighting. Her upper body is cut open, her right upper arm is cut open, and her liver is broken. Ugh. Well, that's certainly no good. But Irontongue down here is actually looking much worse. He's missing a hand as well, and he has cuts all over his body. On top of that, his left hip is mangled, and his left leg as well. Oh, and his liver is broken too. Go figure. Well, I guess it's good these guys aren't going to be drinking alcohol anytime soon. Jeez. Ugh, well, I guess we're just going to unpause the game now and see if these guys can survive their wounds. I'm glad we took down the beast, but it may still be far too early to celebrate. We're going to follow Irontongue for now, who is just laying here on the ground. Serral ran past him there. That damn coward. Okay, well, he's still alive. That's a good sign. Atyr is as well, and I think she's trying to make her way over to this ramp so she can get back up to the fortress. There she goes. Now, just because we don't have any other options, I turned their 2 bedrooms here into a hospital zone, and I'm hoping they'll make their way there, or possibly that Serral will bring them here, although that might be too much to ask for. That bastard. Alright, yes, it looks like Atyr is limping her way back to the Tower of Memories to rest, and Serral is in fact on his way to collect Irontongue. Very good. Alright, there we go, you two. Try to rest up a little bit. Ugh, what a damn mess. Alright, Serral, I'll tell you what. You're going to be off mining duty for now. And in fact, Serral, we're going to be putting you on healthcare duty for now, because we got to get those other 2 back up on their feet, which is going to take some doing, I think. What a damn mess. Yeah, I guess that whole fight there was kind of a poor decision. We did get rid of that forgotten beast, which is great, but it did lead to the severe injury of both of our leaders. Well, I suppose we'll just have to be better prepared next time. Damn foolish. Well, I do feel like it's going to take a while for everything to get settled down here. So in the meantime, let's go take a look in on our fortress dwarves, just to see how they're doing. And here we are, back in Stetargusgash proper, and it certainly seems like a cheery place compared to those bleak caverns. The sounds of labor, the laughing of the dwarves. Those vampires keep giving us orders, and so there's a lot to do these days. And so yes, I think a little fortress overview is in order. Now if we have a look over here, we could see Tun Cybrek-Zim, our butcher, who's currently freaking out in this doorway. They were giving us a bit of trouble last episode, and they have continued to do so. with very little turnaround at all. We're probably going to have to end up exiling them, which I don't really want to do, but we'll ask the vampires just to make sure. They may have other plans in mind. On top of that, we did manage to replace a few of those wooden spikes in our trap hall here with copper spikes, and in fact each of these spikes you see here is 10 separate spikes. And so yeah, that's coming along. It's about a third of the way done, maybe a little more, but it's taking a lot of copper to do this. And I think we just ran out actually. Not a great thing, but we're working on it. We'll get there eventually. Although that being said, our population is still very low. And so I'm not sure those goblins are ever gonna show up honestly, which kinda stinks, but hey, whatever. It'll give us time to prepare our own forces to go out and attack first, which is also kinda nice. Now another thing we've been working on, if we look up here to the Tower of Memories, as you can see there are 3 smaller towers around the Tower of Memories itself now. 2 down here, and then a 3rd up here in the north. We have just begun work here, and we have quite a ways to go. Just a little side project. It's gonna take some doing, but vampire's orders. Oh, and actually down here is something else we've been working on. We were told by the vampires to start construction on a new well. That was a while ago, and they did tell us to hold off, but we are getting to work now. Now I'm not sure what they want from us exactly, but they told us to dig this tunnel down here, just at the bottom of the well itself, and also to build a cage trap in this narrow corridor, which doesn't really make a lot of sense, but again, vampire's orders. I'm not too sure what they're... Wait, what was that? Did you see that? Did something come out of the well? By Melville's wisdom. What the hell is this creature? Is it a goblin? It was... Why was it down there? And how the hell did it end up getting down there? We've been drinking from the well too. I guess that'll explain the flavor. You know, in reality, I'd like to think the dwarves would be a bit more horrified about finding this shriveled prune of a goblin down in the well that they've been using for the past few years. But, you know, I have to imagine they're just kind of over it at this point. It seems like every day here in the fortress there's a new shocking discovery for the dwarves. New revelations, new terrifying secrets. I figure they'd just throw this on the pile at this point. I mean, all things considered, the dwarves really don't seem to mind that much. And besides, once again, vampire's orders. I guess we'll just continue watching everything go slowly downhill, while also trying to enjoy our lives. Oh, Stetargusgash. And before we get off the subject of our well, if we look down here in our residential quarter, you can see our new well is all planned up. And it will be dug out exactly to the vampire specifications. I'll go into it in more detail after it's all carved out. It's kinda complex. Oh boy, okay, let's see, what else do we have going on here? Alright, back to our low population. While I'm explaining things here, I'm going to send Zbhanov out again to more surrounding hillocks, because I would still really like to increase our population a little bit. I did end up sending her out a couple more times that I did not show last episode, and she did actually get a couple of non-merchant dwarves. Only a couple though, but still that's better than nothing, which is exactly what we're getting now. And so let's see, you know what, just for the heck of it, I'm gonna send her up here to the north, where we can see Murder Wound, deep in goblin territory. Oh wow, and there are a ton of dwarves that we can request here. Yeah, wow, that's surprising. Now, I would really like to go and select all these dwarves, but if they're all merchants, then that kind of, yeah, screw it. We'll take them all. Boy, I really hope this doesn't bite us in the ass. If all these dwarves do end up showing up here, that'll be 27 more dwarves for our fortress. And if those dwarves are merchants, then, well, I don't know what's gonna happen. Let's just hope for the best. Zbhanov, good luck. And just, please, whatever. Just good luck. Now, let's see, what else do we have going on here in the fortress? Oh, actually, we had a few new artifacts pop up in the past couple months, and I would like to show off a couple. So let's take a look real quick. First off, we have an artifact made by Kivish, one of our miners over here, and it's a pretty interesting one too. And honestly, it was made quite a while ago, but I just never mentioned the thing. But let's have a look at it just while we're doing this. Its name is Odurnin Cast, the root toe of genius, a carp bone shield, which is pretty interesting. Remember, we have another artifact too named Astagez, which is a carp bone scepter. Kinda interesting, I'm not sure where the dwarves are getting all this carp bone from, but back to the shield, it's only worth about 6,000, not very much. This is a carp bone shield. All craft workmanship is of the highest quality. It is encircled with bands of cushioned lignite cabochons, and it also menaces with spikes of carp bone and jet. Pretty neat, right? It is made of bone, but since it's an artifact, that means it could take one hell of a beating, and in fact it won't ever be destroyed. That is some masterful craft workmanship right there. Again, I don't really have a plan for this, but whatever is done with it, I think it would go really nice paired with that scepter. But for now, we're just gonna keep them locked up in the vault. Which we do have, by the way. You know, I'm not sure if I ever mentioned the thing. Yeah, it's down here, attached to our tombs. Just kind of a wide area protected with a couple of cage traps. I figured that would be a bit better than just throwing them in a pile somewhere. You know. Oh, yeah, what's this here? A goblin snatcher has been spotted in our entryway. You rat bastard. Well, I don't think so. I'm gonna call out all the squads, and we'll take care of this guy real quick. She's not equipped with very much at all, just a bag, so this should be pretty easy. We're following the goblin, who is moving down into the fortress, and is going to run straight into this dwarf here. That dwarf being Tobel, or Such, our new chief medical dwarf. Oh, but the goblin is now panicking and running out of the fortress, and is hopefully going to run into this dwarf here. That being Imush, our cook, who is equipped with a silver mace. And, ooh, just hit the goblin pretty good. Oh yeah, really good. That was some damn quick work there, Imush. She broke one of its arms, one of its feet, and then smashed its head in with her mace. Fantastic work. Well, back to work, Imush. Just make sure to wash your hands before you cook anything, please. Oh, and it looks like Zuthan has returned. Okay, that's cool. Hopefully with a whole bunch of other dwarves. And, does not look to be the case. Wait a second, what the hell? That doesn't make any sense. She came back onto the map with a couple of water buffalo bulls, as well as a bunch of dead animals that are just laying here in a pile. Why the hell would that be? Doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. Yeah, our population is unchanged. She didn't bring back any dwarves whatsoever. Just a couple of water buffaloes and a load of dead animals. What? I'll tell ya. Oh, Zuthan. I think maybe we should pick a new messenger, cause this isn't really working out very well. Yeah, I mean, would you look at this here? All these dead animals here, these are the ones you brought back. They all have names too, so I'm curious if they're actually pets. Why would that be? It's so ridiculous. I really don't even know what to say. Well, better luck next time, I guess. Now then, alright, we're back in the fortress here, and back to the subject of artifacts. Another dwarf is in a strange mood currently. Man, these things are really piling up. But before that one's created, I'd like to show off one of the other ones that was just recently created, because I'd say that shield was actually one of the more boring ones, believe it or not. The next artifact I'd like to show off was made by Lighthast, Beans, who is still doing pretty alright. His stress seems to kind of fluctuate these days, but it never gets too bad, so that's good I suppose. Now he had a strange mood that I had never seen before, a macabre mood, and when he was hit by it he claimed a tanner's workshop, and then he collected some pretty strange items. Let's take a look at what he made. Here we have Odamusan Nengasmer, Cloistered Murder, the Unnameable Umbra, a very dark name, and it's a water buffalo bone warhammer, which is pretty interesting, although not a great weapon material unfortunately, and it's worth 10,000, which is respectable. Relatively anyways. This is a water buffalo bone warhammer, all craft workmanship is of the highest quality. It is decorated with water buffalo bone and encircled with bands of pig bone, cat bone, and, get this, honeybee chitin. That's right, when he had this strange mood, he actually went out and collected the remains of several honeybees, which I've never seen happen before. Very strange. This object is adorned with hanging rings of pig bone and menaces with spikes of honeybee chitin. On the item is an image of a giant damselfly in water buffalo bone, as well as an image of Ilral Granite Elbows the dwarf in siltstone. Ilral is in a fetal position, which relates to the encasement of the dwarf in ice in the barricaded murk in the midwinter of 279. Alright, and I didn't realize it initially, but Ilral was actually our former outpost liaison. The one who had climbed up into that tree, then we cut the tree down, and then they wandered off into a brook, and I thought they drowned, but apparently they were frozen to death in ice, which is still pretty foolish. Now I'm taking a look here in Legends mode just to see what I can see about this dwarf, and I didn't realize that originally she came from Waterkeeper, and she was expelled because she was miserable. And then looking down here, she was encased in ice in 279, but then it says she came back from the dead as a howling spirit, which is just terrible, really. But then it says she was struck down by the goblin Smuntsu terror lords in the barricaded murk. What the hell? A howling spirit was struck down by a goblin? I have a feeling that's a bug in the game, but whatever, we could still work with that. That's pretty interesting. Right, the artifact. It's pretty neat, but I'm not sure it will actually serve any great purpose, other than decoration that is. Oh well. Now then, we're back out here to the fortress, and we just received word on what we should do about our upset dwarves. Namely Tun, our butcher, who is still very upset. Well, you see, according to the vampires, they do in fact want this dwarf placed upstairs, on the second level here, in our infection chamber, with the werehorse, who's dead. Our dead werehorse. What the hell? Okay, there's no great reason for this human here to be dead right now, except for the fact that I know at the beginning of a year, some creatures can die of old age. And I don't know how old this human was, but I know she had white hair. So I'm thinking she was actually quite aged and just died of old age. Well, that's disappointing. Quite. Well, I guess we're canceling the infection chamber plans. That stinks. But oh well. Moving on. The next thing I want to do before I describe anything else is send Zbhanov out once again. Although we've had some terrible luck with her. And you know, I'm taking a look around at these hillocks, and it doesn't look like there are any more dwarves at any of them. Except for Kogan Lake Guilds here, over at Girder Sprayed. Alright, if that's our only option, then I suppose we'll request them. Boy, does that stink, huh? Just really hoping we can get one more dwarf out of this deal. But, whatever. Yes. Our new well over here. Now would you have a look? It's not completely done yet, but it's getting there. Now this right here is going to be the first level of the well, where the well itself is. And then actually up one level, right here, there's another well. And if wells are on top of each other like this, then they could both use the same water. I'm mostly just doing this for efficiency's sake. And then if we look down a level here, you can see this narrow tunnel going off in both directions, and it is separated from the well itself by these fortifications. Now over here to the right, the tunnel leads right here and up, and will be connected up to the brook, so that we have a real easy time filling it back up when it becomes empty. That's going to be kind of important. And then when it does become full, it will not overflow into the actual fortress itself, but the water will continue out this way here, and will drain out into our mines. And I don't intend on having this thing going 24/7 either, so it's not going to fill up our mines with water. No worries there. We're going to end up putting a floodgate in there just so we can turn it off and on. And then if we look down right here, you can see we have a ring of smooth stone. Now this is natural stone that has been perfectly smooth, so that nothing can climb up out of here if it wanted to. The water will fill up to this level here. And then if we look down one more level, we can see the bottom of the well, which is only a single tile now. And after we get rid of this staircase here, we're going to install a nice spike. A single spike, hopefully made out of steel or something very durable. And after that's all in place, we're going to clean out these rocks here and then seal it up. And then the vampires want this goblin, or whatever the hell this creature is, thrown down into the well. Alright, well, I suppose if that's what they want. Again, I'd like to think the dwarves would be disgusted about this, but they've been drinking out of that well long enough with this goblin down at the bottom. I suppose they must not mind the flavor that much, as disgusting as it is. And at that point, the well should be in pretty good working order. I'm hoping. And if this doesn't work, then I don't know what to think. This whole thing might just be impossible. But I suppose time will tell. Well, would you look here? Zbhanov has returned with a dead turkey. Fantastic. Okay. Well, it doesn't really make me feel positive about our future population growth, which is a damn shame. Although, that being said, one of the merchants just gave birth to a girl. Just moments ago, right in the middle of our meeting hall, too. Which is, well, it's something. So I guess we kind of found a use for the merchants, right? Better than nothing. Alright, now then, we're still working on our well over here, and the new additions to the Tower of Memories, which are coming along, although we just ran out of siltstone blocks, so we're starting to make some more. Gonna take a bit. And on top of that, down in the Tower of Memories, we just broke into the first cavern layer, which we are getting sealed right up, as per the vampire's orders. They don't want any contact with our dwarves whatsoever, for fear that they'll make a meal out of us. And honestly, none of the dwarves want that to happen, so yeah, we're getting that quickly taken care of. Although that being said, you know, I think some of the dwarves are becoming a bit enamored with our vampire leaders. You gotta think about it, the vampires are mysterious, powerful creatures who are trying to ensure the future of the dwarves. So you know, I wouldn't really blame the citizens for kind of holding them on a pedestal. In fact, this is a bit interesting here. The dwarves just voted Atyr in as mayor of the fortress. She's no longer the expedition leader. Id Euristvathsith was our expedition leader for a while, but apparently they prefer Atyr. Our mayor is a vampire, which is pretty neat. On top of that, I know for a fact that at least one dwarf in the fortress wants to become a vampire. Young, impressionable Moldath here. Only 16 years old. It should also be mentioned that this is one of our sponsored dwarves as well. Now Moldath here was set on guard duty when the vampires were locked in Atyr's room way back when, and apparently that affected him a bit. And ever since then, he's wanted to become a vampire. and that desire has grown over time even. Just an interesting side note, I guess. I'm not too sure how he aims to go about doing this, but I suppose time will tell. Now then, I think that'll about do it for Fortress business for now. And since we're talking about the vampires, how about we go take a look in on them? I'd really like to show you how they're doing after that Forgotten Beast attack. Well, here we are, in the pale caverns deep below the fortress, where work is continuing as usual. Lately, the dwarves have been trying to clear out the caverns just a little bit to get some more space down here, just nicening it up pretty much. Although the work is terribly slow going. I'd have to imagine it's hard to find the motivation when you've gone for so long without access to alcohol. These poor bastards must not even feel like they're dwarves anymore. Well, technically I'm not sure they are. And in addition to that, the Nazusheb are probably fairly depressed lately. Because you see, it's been several months now since Letha Piniosata, the Forgotten Beast, attacked. And you may have noticed that Iron Tongue is not to be seen here with these two vampires. And well... Wait. No, not again. Another beast attacks Nazusheb. Damn it, we can't handle this now. Once again, a titanic creature born of a time before time has come to assail the small group of Nazusheb. Its rigid movements and freakish appearance mark it as a beast not of this age. Mortal enemy of the light, this crazed hulk has come to extinguish our flame. The forgotten beast Tithleth Oth Nakol has come. A huge eyeless goose. It has a curling trunk and it appears to be emaciated. Its scarlet feathers are patchy. Beware its deadly blood. Well, I'm gonna tell you what, this certainly is not fantastic news. Definitely not after what happened last time. Okay, well, Tithleth seems to be down in the 3rd cavern level, below the Nazusheb, and so we do have some time. In fact, I'm not sure that previous Forgotten Beast would have ever come up to attack our dwarves if we didn't antagonize it first. So we might be kinda safe from this one, though I'm not getting my hopes up on that. Well, whatever the case, I don't intend on fighting this one. Not yet anyways. We'll just keep it locked down underground, and hopefully it doesn't cause us any trouble. Now I'm having a look around the 2nd cavern layer here, and I'm trying to identify any downwards passages. And you know, it does not look like there are any, besides this tunnel over here that we used to go fight that previous beast. So I'm thinking the best course might be to just come over here and block up this tunnel. Plus we would still have access to this whole cavern layer, which is kind of important. And so yeah, that's how we're gonna do it right there. And hopefully someone comes right over and builds this floor. If we can get that done, then we'll be completely safe. In the meantime, I'm gonna keep eyes on Tithleth down here, who's moving around very quickly, very wildly. Oh, and coming up the tunnel. Oh geez. Alright, I paused the game. And having a look up here, the tunnel is not sealed off yet. Alright, that's not great. Well, Atir was just on her way with this boulder, but I'm gonna cancel that order now. Obviously. Alright, well I just set up another burrow here, down in the vampire's lower fortress area, and I'm gonna try to get them to go here really quick. Let's see what happens. Okay, Atir turned right around and is quickly moving back, thankfully. Alright, there she goes. And she's safe. Fantastic. And now we're gonna lock the doors behind them, and pull this lever right here, which will close up this gate. Alright, and there we go. Okay, wow, that was kind of a close one, really. Because here's Tithleth, working at the doors right now, trying to pry them off the hinges. Yes, we certainly got lucky today, Nazusheb. The gods know we can't afford to lose any more vampires. Not with Iron Tongue incapacitated like he's been for the past few months. But seeing as how we're getting to the end here, we'll talk more about that next time. Well, you bearded bastards, I really hope you enjoyed watching this episode, and I certainly hope you'll join me next time, here in Stetargusgash, Honeystoker. And until then, you bearded bastards.